day one, a violent vertical ledge setter.
I see some gas off the edge. Get that mindset to put your shoulder on somebody.
Dig, drive. You're finished.
Hey, first down. He's a weird kid. Worse than that side.
Pressure in control. Man, that looks great.
Jets! Woo! Oh my God, it's so beautiful. 78 degrees, Jets football, and we're winning. That's what's going on today. That's why everybody's so psyched. This isn't no happenstance. This is a guarantee, just like Joe Namath said. See that?
There are few things in life you cannot put a price on. Loyalty, tradition, fierce passion. Today is a gigantic family reunion because finally, they're back.
Look at all those fans in there. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the After Hours Jets Fest. My name is GreenBean. You know this because you are here. Look at this sparkly hat. Look at that. Isn't that sparkly? How nice. The glittery show, we like to call this one. The glittery sparkly. So what's up? Again, as is standard on this particular show, we just spent the last 2 hours together. I took a little break, took my dog for a walk, used the restroom, made a fresh bottle of seltzer, and here I am, ready to dig into the nitty-gritty. So I'm going to let you guys run this show as we try to do every week. Couple things. One, I try my best to read the chat. It gets pretty vibrant, as is it's regular for you guys. You're the best chat in the business. But I will try to read them, but I can't get to all of them. So in the event you really want to make sure something is said or read or asked, super chats are the way to do that. And if of course, I sincerely appreciate that. It helps me out. The other thing is, I'll remind you about the contests. We're cruising, man, but it did slow down, guys. I thought I was going to make 5,000 easy. Now we got like 2.5 weeks left. And the brakes have been slammed on. So if you haven't subbed, now's the time. All you got to do to enter is sub right here to this channel and go over to my other channel, Full-Time Coaster Tour, and sub there, and you're in. And you can win T-shirts from the Greenbeanjetsfan.com merch store and some Manscaped ultra smooth package goodness. So here we are. Tony G, what's up? Rusty Spooner, congrats on the shirt, buddy. You won a shirt on Ryan's Jets Talk 24/7 Talking Jets panel earlier. And that's great. Sneakers to Boots is here. John Salty Nuts Magoo. Emanon. What's up, Emanon? Derek Luker. AC Anders is here. Wow, this is great. You guys are the best. Big Green. Mike Kaz Jets all time. GreenBean, where are you? When did you write that? I'm here. I try. You know, it's funny, man. That you'd be surprised. It ends at 10, the other stream. That 30 minutes, don't forget, I'm like my wife, my kids, there's a whole lot going on in here in that time between 8 and 10. So I try to run around and do some stuff. Sometimes I eat something. It goes by in seconds for me. It's almost like I get no little break. Feels like I just run right back on. Happens fast on this end. So I'm sorry if I kept you waiting. I think it did good today. Let's see. Hank is here. What's up, Hank? Pure Adrenaline Fantasy Sports. John Postman. Don't forget to support his channel, Fantasy Talk, with the best of them. John Postman. He's legit. Liam Riordan. Liam's here. What's up, man? Liam met me at the Coney Island Cyclone meeting. I think I bring this up to you guys. But I wanted to tell you, if I didn't already, when I come back, we're going to do a part 2. And I've already talked preliminarily to the Gotham City crew and Jetnation. So next year or next time when I get up to the New York, New Jersey area and we have the Jets meetup at Cyclone again, I think it's going to be a little bit more elaborate, a little bit more supported with Gotham City and Jetnation involved, and maybe we'll even get Coney Island involved. I tried last time, but it didn't work. They didn't want to hear from me. I'm like, hey, I'm Green Bean. I'm coming to Coney Island. They're like, yeah, good. But so anyway, Liam, I hope you would come back. It was fantastic to hang with you. Eminon, right on, man, right on. V-Man's here. Jarrett Brobeck, Sneakers to Boots, as I said. Kevin Vafadoost, what's up, buddy? Hank is here. Tony, as I said. Robert Killian reminds me of my absolute favorite, special beer when I was younger was Killian's Red. Anybody remember that? It was like what I got when I felt like not just drinking my normal swill to get hammered and go buy a bunch of cocaine. It was like when I wanted to sit down and have some sip time. I always got Killian's Red. That was my fave. So there's a lot of other guys. Green Dog, Billy McLean, Boogie Down Bronx, Mo Lake is back. Good, man. I hope you do. Rick Tonelli and some others. It's starting. You guys are coming in. I'm having a hard time saying hello to all of you. Right, Friggle D. There it is. Where'd he go? Killian's Irish Red. Right, all you guys know. Rusty Spooner knows. I don't know if they still do or not, Mr. Magix. I mean, as you guys know, I haven't had a drink in over 11 years. So I just don't know. I haven't been, I'll go to a liquor store every now and then to get a bottle of wine or something, but I haven't perused a beer cave I just don't see it. I just don't drink, And I also don't get cocaine, since I mentioned that earlier. I haven't been to Spanish Harlem on 170th in, so long. So what do you guys want to talk about? What's first? What do you think of this kicker? Let's do that. And then I'll look for topics that you guys bring up. I know it's surprising, right, Mr. Magix? I don't drink, buddy. But here's the thing. I drank enough. Let me assure you. I lived in bars. I used to close bars down, man. There was a bar on Beverwick Road in Lake Hiawatha that I knew the tenders. Everybody. We all grew up together. Like, they would shut the place down, and like 10 of us would stay in there. They'd lock the doors, and I would just literally stay there all night long, drinking, doing drugs and everything else. So I did my fair share. I'm good. I'm all full up. Plus, as soon as I have 2 sips of beer, I got to go get drugs. So it doesn't work for me. It doesn't work. What's up, Mikey Mouse? So let's see. Yeah, I know. I don't know. Right. I think that would be a craft beer, Killian's Irish Red. I loved it, dude. It was good. And then I liked my Yinglings. Yinglings was a little bit step up for me. I used to work at a Bottle King in Parsippany. And they, nobody wanted to ever work in the beer cooler. So I just said, I'll work the beer cooler. This way, I don't have to deal with customers. I just sat in the beer cooler and I kept it stocked. And I would sit in there and drink Yingling all night. I swear to God, that's what I did. I used to drink probably in my shift. If I was like my second job. So I would work at AT&T during the day and I'd go to Bottle King at night. And I would literally drink 6-8 beers every night on them. They were gracious enough to let me steal their beer. You know how that goes. So what do you guys think about the kicker? How do we feel? Yeah, you know what's funny, Tony? I never really, 118th is more Harlem. I didn't really do that. I used to, there was a place right across from Yankee Stadium that we used to go. But that's where I bought like big weight of weed back in the day. I would buy like pounds and stuff. But I didn't. To get my real drugs, I went to Spanish Harlem. Pot, yeah, pot. Did I say that? Get my pot. Let's see. What's Salty Nuts saying? He says, "What's the copay for the Green Bean post game therapies?" I know, it's so funny. Yeah, super chats, right? I'm always open for super chats, man. That's if we call this Jets therapy. You guys know I am a therapist. I haven't functioned as one in some time. But I used to charge $80 an hour. That's what I would get on the, for my patients. But yeah, Jewel. I know this is almost done. It's almost over. Jets forever. I promise. I used to say, All right, let me see. I know. Well, I used to smoke it, right? Jets forever. That's all I did. Like I said, I was a big fan. And then we'll end the drug stuff. But I failed as a drug dealer. Complete and utter failure. I would use everything I had. I couldn't sell it. I'd go spend all this money on stuff and then I'd use it. And if people go, hey, you got anything? I'd be like, no. You know what I mean? No. Because I knew if I gave it to them, I'm going to want it in a few hours. I can't do that. Stupid. What's up, 101? So we had this kicker thing, dude. Now, let me just say this. When we signed Kessman, I thought, and I didn't even put a second thought into it, but I thought, okay, good. They're going to let Amendola know that he's on alert. Dude, your job is not secure. We're bringing in people. You better get this right. That's what I thought. The guy, you know, he's proven that he can do the job. Something's off. Get his head right, and maybe, you know, we'll give him another week or two to whatever. Not that I was happy with him, but when Kessman won the job, my first thought was, what? Like, what is that? How the hell does this? And then he comes in. I mean, he was terrible in warm-ups. I just knew it. I knew it, man. I never felt good about it for 1 second. Comes in, literally ruins the positive buzz of Zach Wilson's finest first-half performance in his entire young career up to this point. He came out and he was crisp. He was precise. At one point, he only had, what, 1 incompletion or something like that? 3 touchdowns. Now, you can be fair. Berrios gave us pretty damn good field position that first time. We were on, what, the 30-yard line of the Eagles? So, but still, that doesn't mean we're scoring. You guys know this. Doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that we have good field position. But so we have, we scored 3 consecutive touchdowns, and this damn kicker took the wind right out of our sails. Think about how they must feel. We score a touchdown, they score a touchdown. We score a touchdown, they score a touchdown. We score a touchdown, they score a touchdown. We're down 3 points. You know what that, like, you know what I mean? That's deflating. So whatever the defense could do after in the second half, you know, look, like we got into it earlier. I'm not saying I'm happy with the defense. I'm not saying they're impressive. Like, trust me when I tell you. But going from 24 points to 9 points, if our offense could have done something in the third quarter when they got the ball, it's a totally different game. Totally different. All we had to do is keep going. But our young boy can't put it together. So what do you think about the new guy? What's his name? Eddie Pinheiro? Is that what it is? Amendola is back. So Amendola is back. What do you make of that? He's back to the practice squad, which, let me tell you something. There's a lot of people that feel, and you've probably seen Michael Nania from JetX. He said that Matt Amendola has unique leg strength. Like, it's not every kicker has his strength. So it's not the kind of guy that you want to give up on so quick. Okay. So what I thought is that they should have went to the Bucs on Monday morning, plucked Borregales, which they can't protect him Monday and Tuesday. You go there and you pluck him, and then you sign Amendola back to the practice squad, and you work with them for fucking 5 years if you want. Who cares? Right? We have 16 practice squad spots. You want to use one for a kicker? Be my guest. So do you think this is the guy? That's what I'm getting at here. He's not the double doinker. No, he's not. That was, what was his name? That wasn't him. What was his name, that guy? Let me see. Cody Parker. That's who it was. That's who it was. Don't freak me out, man. You freaked me out, Robbie. I just got so nervous. Yeah. So I don't know. Man. I mean, look, when you want to just get an emergency kicker, go grab Gostkowski. He's sitting there. Go grab him. Go grab that guy. Like, what? I don't understand. Like, this is the one area that I really don't understand what the hell our GM is doing. I don't. I'm a fan. I'm a fan, but I don't understand it. So Jets Forever is saying Areza is better than York. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm liking this kid York guy. And admittedly, I haven't dug into all the stats with the kickers. A lot of people like this Areza guy. He's a punter kicker guy. But Cade York, I think, is coming out. He's going to end up being the #1 kicker in the country this year. Strong leg, all accurate, all that stuff. I just want us to use a 5th-round pick and do it. Or trade back, get some 6th and 7th, and use one. Just grab your kicker. That's what I think. Submission 72. What's up, buddy? He says, so, why can't we just sign a good kicker? They're not that heavy. I know. That's what I'm saying. I really don't understand. What are you saying there, Mike Kaz? He says, it seems that's the way the rebuild is going. What, the kicker? I like the rebuild. I'm very happy. I know a lot of you guys aren't, and I understand, but I'm happy. So Jets NY 101, thank you for the super chat, my friend. He says, let's hope Zach outshines Lawrence in a few weeks. Yeah. Now, just to wrap up the kicker thing, and then I'm going to leave this up there so we can talk about it. Cody Parkey. That's what it was, not Parker. What I said, Parker. The whole thing with Friggle D says Pinheiro was out all of 2020 with a groin injury. Yeah, I don't know. I have a hard time believing it, guys. I just do. I think Borregales was the pick. I don't know what we're doing. So let's switch it. So Jetson, he said, let's hope Zach outshines Lawrence. Let me tell you what I would like to see. Truly like to see. I would like to see an aerial assault back and forth between Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson, where they both play well and Zach Wilson outshines them. That's what I want to see. Because there were people like, look, a lot of Jetnation has bailed on Zach. Lots. I see it. Now, there's a lot of us haven't, but a lot of us have. Okay? But let me tell you something. The shit that I dealt with in the offseason, because I didn't, put my weight behind Zach Wilson 100%. You know what I mean? Like, you guys probably remember, I was not a Zach Wilson fan. I said he's got a long time. There's a long leap from BYU to the NFL, number one. So it's going to be a long time. Number two, we've never seen what he looks like under pressure. So there's going to be that, because there's going to be pressure in the NFL. That said, I did like him. But I said, if the Jets take Justin Fields, if we take Zach Wilson, if Trevor Lawrence slips and they take Trevor Lawrence, I'm happy with any of them. I like them all. If it's Trey Lance, I'm happy with Trey Lance. If they trade back and grab Mac Jones or Kyle Trask, I'm happy with that. Whoever the quarterback is that they want, that's who I want them to get. But let me tell you, people ripped me apart, guys. Ripped me apart. I got at least 20, 25 messages of people saying, I'm clearly a Zach hater, and I'm trying to pretend I'm not. Like that area, like that vein. I said, no, you're wrong. I'm not a Zach hater. Yes, you are. All that. The fact that we are bailing on him already is crazy. So what I'd like to see is Zach just continue to progress. I was delighted with that game. Not perfect. The pick sucked, but the drops, dude. If the only thing that changed was that drops weren't drops, he has another 60 yards and a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? So we're talking about 300 or 280, 290, and 2 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? Or 3 touchdowns. So for me, I was really happy with how calm he looked. I was really happy. He looked sharper, not laser accurate, but he was better. And that's what we want. So if him and Trevor Lawrence go head to head, which they're gonna, if they stay healthy. I would love to see both those guys want to outshine the other one and Zach win. I don't give a shit about draft position. That's what I want. I think that would go a million miles toward Zach becoming our guy. Now, if he doesn't mean he's not. But if he did, it would really help. I think it would help Jets fans too. You know what I mean, Jets New York 101? You know what I'm saying. He did improve. Yeah. And that's an interesting stat, Jets Forever. 8 of 11 of Zach's interceptions are dropped passes. I don't know if that's the exact number. I'm going to trust you on that and just go with it, but I want to say that. I don't have that stat, but I'm going to go with it. So think about that. And 2, at least, I think it's 3, but at least 2 are Corey Davis, our big free agent number 1 receiver who's forgotten how to catch. He's had some really good catches too, but he's been a disappointment for me. So think about that. Those picks, and even if the Corey Davis, dude, Zach's season has been really, if you were objective going in, remember all the shit people were saying? This guy is Aaron Rodgers and Mahomes combined. I was like, holy cow. Do you realize what you're talking about? You're talking about one of the greatest quarterbacks of the modern era and the greatest quarterback of the last 5 years. He's won MVP, been to 2 Super Bowls, had a 5,000-yard season, MVP of the Super Bowl, been to the playoffs the years he didn't make it to. Dude, he's had the best opening of his career ever. And we think this kid from BYU is them? Maybe in 5 years. So that's why I think a lot of people are so disappointed, because expectations were through the roof. And you guys know me, I'm a super positive guy. I try real hard to find the positives, and I love having fun before the season. Yeah, man, fucking 12-5. But come on, did you is that what we really thought? So I think Zach Wilson, where he is right now, coming off those last 2 games, the second half in the Texans game, the first half was scary, wasn't it? 300 yards by the 3 other quarterbacks, and then Zach comes in and he's lost. That was scary. Came, settled down, played a very good second half, 18 unanswered points. And then he had that opening half. It was great. It was great. Friggle D says he looked smooth for once in his pro career. That's a good way to say it. That was the big takeaway. I think he looked calm. He didn't look frazzled, erratic. Even when he did run out, he just seemed like that one play. There was one play where the defensive end came in. It looked like a guaranteed sack. He just shook him and just moseyed forward, looking downfield. The guy's running behind him. And he was never concerned. He's like, he's not getting me. I got him. I see him. He threw a pass. It was because of completion. It's yeah, that's what we got to see. Really, I hope that's not the case, man. I really do. I don't know what this, look, what are drops? What are missed assignments? Whether it's defense, offense, what is that? We all know what it is. It's when you're not comfortable in the schemes. You don't know where you're supposed to be, so you're thinking. Football is a game of fluidity. You have to be fluid. You have to know where you're going to be. It's a game of millimeters and seconds. You see it, man. A finger, the ball's here. If your finger 1 inch and you block that pass, football is a game of precision. And when you're thinking, when you're not exactly right, you can do it second nature, you drop passes, you fumble the ball, you throw high, you throw into people's feet, you miss coverages, just things like that. That's what we're seeing all over the place. And like John says, look, he's salty. He says all rookie quarterbacks have a rocky first start except Mac Jones. but he has done the tit over there in New England. Yeah. And I hate that excuse, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Like, who was it that brought it up? I think it was Frankie from Flatbush. Frankie said that not only did Mac Jones go to the best situation, he went to the perfect situation. Nick Saban and Bill Belichick are very, very close. They're coach buddies. They've coached together. They had intern. You know they talked all about Mac Jones. Which quarterback? You know he did his he said, "Look, Mac Jones is the best guy for my system. I don't need to be up there. Let them have a feeding frenzy for the other guys. They might be better quarterbacks. Mac Jones is the guy. He's got the smarts upstairs. He's got the cool attitude. That's all I need him to do. You saw just three passes. They haven't asked Mac Jones to do much all year. Just be smart. That's it. All you have to do is be smart. We don't like chances. Don't take them. You know? So it's crazy. You know? Yeah, but that's one play, Yoshi. You know, that's only one play. You saw him, I think it was when he landed. It was like, oh, it was like he landed hard. You could see it. He was hurt. Well, and that submissions, that's what I'm talking about. With like if Zach Wilson was having trouble reaching guys, or like he's going deep and he's completely erratic, like a Hackenberg. He's trying to throw a 10-yard out and or 10-yard in, he throws it 10 yards out of bounds, like that kind of stuff. He's not doing that. He's just, there's the easy stuff, little dumps, 10-yard ins. He's in his head. There's a lot of energy, erratic, but he calmed down last game. Still not perfect, but he's getting there. I feel really good about Zach Wilson. He's right where I thought he would be. Maybe not exactly, you know, and I had hopes, of course. So the Green Chimp says the biggest concern, these receivers keep dropping all of Zach's passes every friggendo week. Friggendo. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, even Elijah Moore, Crowder had a drop last week. I don't know what it is. Something about this place. There's something about the Jets. Like, you have to be, just like we saw Salah in this game. He snapped. Did you see him? He's tired of being the cool guy. Now, he might not be that energetic, screaming, yelling maniac every game, but now we know it's in there. Now we know. And he's not going to be walked on anymore. If you try to be the nice guy with the New York Jets, you're going to get walked on. It's that simple. That's why Rex Ryan succeeded. That's why Bill Parcells succeeded. And truth is, that's why Herm Edwards succeeded. Herm Edwards wasn't the same ilk, but he was boisterous out there. Absolutely not. Like, he was out there screaming and yelling, not negative screaming and yelling, but you have to bring that in order to overcome this Jets bullshit that we deal with. You got to bring it all. You got to have more guys. You have to have deeper wide receivers. You have to have more offensive guards. Like the offensive guard situation, like looking back in hindsight, right? Everybody said, like we were talking about, I got into the Trey Smith conversation. I loved Trey Smith. He had the blood clot thing, and he slipped to 200 to pick 226. So that shows you NFL teams were concerned. Now he's playing great, fantastic. But there are teams like the Jets that we're not the team to take that risk, because if it's going to go wrong for us, he'll be out forever and we lose the pick. You know what I mean? That kind of a thing. But don't forget how we went into this season. We had 3 guards on the roster, 2 of which had NFL starting experience, and 1 who was a 4th-round pick tackle moving to guard, who Joe Douglas wanted to see win the job. We trade up and bring in another guard, AVT. He's got the left guard spot, no question. That's his. Now we have 3 guys a draft pick and 2 guys who with starting NFL experience, who have played well at times, battling for the job. Before the season even starts, 2 of them are gone. One with a spinal injury and one with a damn retirement. Now, I think the Alex Lewis thing is more mental health stuff, and they're just protecting that. And that's great. I appreciate that. But still, retirement and spinal injury, that's what we're left with, one out of the 3-person battle. And that's the thing with the New York Jets. We're going to deal with that one extra little hurdle. That's us. So you got to bring it. You got to bring it. Submission says Ulbricht needs to go. Sorry. Not sorry. Well, I don't know. I'm not happy with him either. I'm not. But needs to go. I don't know. I don't go there so quick. I did with Gase because I didn't want him in the first place. Right? I hated that hire. I didn't like the McCagnon hiring either. But when he was here, I supported him. And then, like I said, I thought it was the marriage of Bowles, who was hired before McCagnon. Don't forget that. McCagnon didn't hire Bowles. Bowles was hired, then we hired McCagnon. It was only a short period of time, but that's how it went. So I thought that McCagnon was trying to get Bowles, his hybrid linebackers, Darren Lee, all those things. That's what I thought. But McCagnon was atrocious. But when you got guys that have potential, they have potential. Up-and-comers, first time in the job. I don't know. I think you got to give him more than a year. I don't know. That's my thought. And I'm not happy with it. I don't know what this soft zone 4-2-5 shit is, but don't forget, that's Salah's defense. Like Ulbricht said, I'm running Salah's defense. I'm adding wrinkles and I'm calling the plays, but we're running Salah's defense. 4-2-5. I don't like it. Right, Tony? So we need the energy of somebody saying, absolutely not. The buck stops here. No, you cannot walk forward anymore. No, this is where I call bullshit. This is it. He was in the middle of the field screaming, the center, the center. That's what he was doing. He's had it. It was 4th and 1 or what, a third, whatever the hell it was. I forget. Their center moves, we jump, and we get called for encroachment. Dude, he moved. Okay? It's the end of story. And they had the powwow about it. What are you powwowing about? They're deciding whether or not to call the center. And they decided not to. Dude, that's the shit we deal with. Salah has to know that this is the Jets. If you're going to succeed here, you cannot bring what you brought to San Francisco. It's not rah-rah shit here. It's enough is enough here. That's what we need. That's what we need. So John Nolte says, biggest concern is our train wreck of a defense. Poorly coached, and the veterans aren't playing with anger. But they will complain about Philly laughing at them. Yeah, this is par for the course. You know, they complained, Moses and whoever else, they complained about the teams running up the score on them, the Patriots. I think, yeah, absolutely, they should run up the score on you. If you can't stop them, then they're going to score. That's the end of the story. And I think, look, I'm in recovery, right? So I believe in bottoms. I believe that most of the time, sadly to say, people don't change. You're not motivated to change until you've experienced a certain amount of pain. I wish that wasn't the case. I do. And for whatever I need to change, I hope I don't have to do that shit again. But that's the way it goes. So you know what accelerates pain? Getting your face rubbed in it. Yeah, how's that feel? And you don't like it? And you're in your head like, this is the last time I'll do this. That's it. I've had it. But here's my thought on CJ Mosley. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. Man, you guys are cooking. I see we're already doing the draft shit. Okay. We can do that too. But let me tell you about the CJ Mosley thing before I talk about Kaz over here. The CJ Mosley thing, like I've been asked a few times what I think about CJ Mosley's comments about Fletcher Cox and the stuff they're laughing at Salah. And I can't figure out what the positive is there. To announce that to the press, the other team was laughing at us. So I have to try to logically. CJ Mosley is known as a cerebral player. He's intelligent. But he's also known as sort of an introvert. He's not what's known as a vocal leader. He's a leader on the field. But he is not somebody, he's not Ray Lewis. He's not one of those guys. So this is when guys like Carl Lawson go down. Carl Lawson was a vocal leader. There was numerous videos in training camp of Carl Lawson talking to the young guys. Guess who was standing right there listening? CJ Mosley. He wasn't jumping in. But you see, lately, we're taking a hit in that vocal leadership stuff. So CJ Mosley's trying to step in. This is how I see it. I don't know if this is fact. This is just what I've come up with, okay? CJ Mosley is trying to fill that role. I am the vet here. I am respected by the team. I have to say and do something. But he's not comfortable in that role because he doesn't do that. But he's trying. The first time you heard it was, not the first time, but like last week after the win, Keelan Cole was doing the whole thing. That's right, man. 1-1. We got 1-0. And CJ Mosley stepped in and started talking. And at the first sentence or two was really good. And then he kept going, and it kind of got weird. Am I wrong? You guys go listen to it? For me, I was like, okay, he doesn't know how to close it. He doesn't know how to cap it. Like they were ready to go, yeah. And he just kept talking. He doesn't know how to, he's not comfortable in that role. That's my 2 cents. So then he goes in front of the press and he's trying to exhibit his passion. He's trying to say something. And he says that. And it didn't, in my opinion, didn't land, didn't instill what it was intended on instilling, in my opinion. But like he's trying to let the team know this is bullshit. Like we're getting laughed at out there. I don't know if it's from the Jets of the past or whatever, but we need to, as warriors, as men, we need to stand up. It pisses me off. That's what he's trying to do, in my opinion. And it's just not his comfort zone, but he's doing it. And I respect that. That's my 2 cents on CJ Mosley. I think he's a damn good football player. I think that if anybody could have justified packing it in, collecting their money, and just walking off into the sunset, it's CJ Mosley. Dude, he had $17 million a year. He got $10 million last year. Then he opted out. Like, the whole Gase thing. He lost the fire, all the shit. He comes back this year, slimmed down, and he's been playing like an animal for the most part. He had a couple bad games. But overall, he's playing like an animal. And he's trying to fill that vocal leadership role, which he's not comfortable with. Now, I could be wrong. CJ Mosley, what the hell are you talking about? That makes no sense to me. Okay, my bad. I don't know the man, but that's what I've come up with. So I don't know if it's positive or negative, but in my opinion, I think it's a guy trying to inspire and trying to find answers. That's what I think. And I respect him, and I love him for it. And even though he's going to make $18 million next year, I think he's at least trying to earn that money. That's my opinion. He's trying to earn it. He's trying to get back into the conversation of the best middle linebackers in the league. That's what he's trying to do. And again, I respect it. So Mike Kaz, Jets all time, says, being a love your analysis on the right guard issue, that explains a lot. GBR is a massive hole on the right side. Yeah. I mean, well, I appreciate that. Most people don't see it like I argue with people all the time. Argue is a strong word. I try to discuss, but people just tell me I'm crazy and I'm a loser and all those things. You know what I mean? They're like, you're delusional, that kind of stuff. I try to look at things intelligently. Not that other people aren't, but I think a lot of the time we look at things with our emotions and we look at it with hindsight. I wanted a guard in the draft because I don't like GVR, and we didn't get one. But you don't know anything about Cam Clark. Everybody's saying Cam Clark's a bust and this and that. He sucks. But that's not true. He never had injury history. He was a nasty road grading tackle that was switching the guard. And I'm telling you, if he didn't get injured, we would love him. That's my thought. I liked the Cam Clark pick a whole bunch. So when you look at these situations, you say, I don't like GVR, and I like the guard in the draft. And now that Joe Douglas didn't pick him and GVR sucks, Joe Douglas sucks. You know what I mean? And it's like looking at the end result. It's like when you look at someone's stats at the end of the year. It's like, yes, that's important. And stats don't lie. At the same time, there's a story involved with any of this stuff. There's other variables. And like I said with Joe Douglas, we had no cornerbacks, none. We had Bryce Hall, remember? Going into the draft, we had Bryce Hall and Blesson Austin. That's it. We needed cornerbacks. And he didn't want to go out there and start paying free agents and all. He wanted to get the young cornerbacks in and get these coaches developing players. So he drafted 3 of them. 2 of them were starting. 2. Now, Pinnock's forced to start. I don't know. I didn't like Pinnock. I didn't like him as a pick. So I'm not going to pretend that I love everything he does. I didn't like that pick. In truth, I didn't like the Eccles pick either, but he showed me something. But Michael Carter, I liked. I liked that pick a lot. But you know what I mean? So like it made sense to take cornerbacks and linebackers, which they were safeties, switching to linebackers. So that's another switch, and it takes time and blah, 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 blah. But that's the whole thing. Like when you look at a guy building a team, he has a 3-way battle going on at right guard. You might not know who they are, but I do. And I have a whole bunch of hope that this competition is going to breed success. They're going to make each other better. I want the young kid to win. I'm giving him every opportunity to win out. And now I can use my asset that I have on cornerback instead of another guard because I already know I have a competition going on there. It didn't work. But then he kept his nose to the grindstone and he gets LDT. You know what I mean? Guy's constantly working. So I hope it does give you some perspective. And that's all. That's all. Let's see. I saw some other stuff. Kyle Hamilton would excel in the 4.25. Yeah, he would. You know what else he would excel in? A 4.3. You know. You know what, Friggledy? I'm a big fan of having linebackers on the field. It's one of my favorite positions in the whole sport. I love good linebacking core. I love it. My favorite linebacking core, there's a couple. I loved Kyle Clifton, and who was I always, it's like I was young, man, but I loved them. But then once we got like Marvin Jones, well, I think it was Kyle Clifton, Mo Lewis, and Joe Kelly. I think that's it. I love that group. We got Marvin Jones. Mo Lewis was with him. Then we had Bobby Houston. I liked them too. Then when Parcells came, Bobby Houston flaked out. Didn't want to play for Parcells and all this sort of stuff. And then we went and got Brian Cox. And it was Brian Cox, Marvin Jones, and Mo Lewis. And dude, they were ferocious. Our defensive line was a whole bunch of nobodies. Rick Lyle. You know, those types of guys. What's that other guy's name? But we didn't need them. They were just run stuff and space eaters. And our linebackers ran around killing people. And I love that. I love it. We played a 3-4. Like I said, we had everybody play, 2 gapping. up front. They were just eating space. Your job is to stuff the run, eat space. My linebackers will come in and finish the job. And that's what happened. And they were great. And then once you have that going on up front, you need your 2 cornerbacks and your 2 safeties. Get it done. Make sure that these guys don't get it. Whoever makes it past my ferocious front 7, then you can clean it up. And he had Aaron Glenn back there. Oh, Aaron Glenn. I love him. I loved Aaron Glenn. So Kyle Hamilton is an exceptional ball player. Now, somebody said it in the last stream in the chat. I didn't get a chance to comment on it and whatever. But the only thing that scares me with Kyle Hamilton, and it's legit, is his injuries. I have a really hard time using a top 5 pick on somebody who's injured, man. It scares the hell out of me. You know, it would be great if we take Aiden Hutchinson, trade the other pick back to like 13, and we get a couple firsts and an extra second, and then Kyle Hamilton slips because of the injuries, and then you take him at 13, because then it's Kyle Hamilton and 2 firsts and a second for pick number 4 or 5. See what I'm saying? That would make me happy. Then I'm ready to take him. The soft zone is bad. Yeah, it is, buddy. Yeah, I hear you. But that's not to say that dumping Joe Brady was the right move. You guys remember just last year, we interviewed Joe Brady as a head coach. How many Jets fans? That was their number 1 guy. Joe Brady was the number 1 guy on people's lists for head coach of the New York Jets. A guy who has never even been in. He was a passing game coordinator for 1 year at LSU, and he had 1 failure of a year as an offensive coordinator in Carolina, and we want him to be our head coach. So I don't know. He's a young guy, man. He seems like the kind of guy you want to sit and work with and develop the team with him. You got weapons galore. And that's the thing. Like, think about this. Matt Rule's yelling about running, but where did you put your resources, bro? You got DJ Moore, you got Robbie Anderson, who you just extended. You got Terrace Marshall. You got a new tight end in Arnold. Like, you put the resources in the passing game. So why McCaffrey's hurt? Why do you want to force me to use? But hey, they got to be able to work together. But the thing is, submissions, is that Saleh and Ulbricht are buddies. They're going to, I'm telling you, I would find it surprising to think that any of these coaches, because it's not Joe Brady's first year, it's his second year. That's the difference. Right, Malik. I agree. Like, in submissions, I wanted you to know I'm not disagreeing with your sentiment, just with the outcome. It's like, again, we're comparing apples to oranges. Joe Brady is in his second year. Midway toward the end, he's in the second. He's in the last third of his second year. Ulbricht is in his first season. He's a rookie. We had the interim job last year, but he's a rookie. This is his first job as a full-time defensive coordinator. And he's Saleh's buddy. So, again, I don't disagree with you. I do disagree with the outcome, which is what Mo Lake is talking about. And I agree with Mo Lake. No coaches should be fired. We got to give them more than a year. We got to. Give them the pass rushers. Give them the defensive premium picks, and let's see what goes on. Let's see Bryce Hall and Eccles and Michael Carter in their second year in the system. Let's see when we get a safety that stays with us for more than a few weeks. We're on like our 6th safety, dude. You can believe that shit? Think about this free agent class. LaMarcus Joyner, hurt, game 1, out for the year. Carl Lawson, hurt, preseason game 2, out for the year. Practice, really, before game 2. Vinny Curry, blood clots and all that, out for the year. Ronald Blair just came back 2 weeks ago. He was out for the whole season up until this point. Corey Davis, torn abs. 3 interceptions, his fault, out for the year. I think Morgan Moses is the last guy standing, really. You see what I'm saying? So it's just, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that stuff. Like, I hear you, but I think it's tough. Let me see. I saw Amarella. What's up, John Amarella? I saw you, buddy. It's good to see you, man. Right? You remember Bobby Houston? I know my players, man. I have mental gaps, but I know my guys. Not the era before me. I know the big one. I know Emerson Boozer and Don Maynard. I know the Lance Mel. Lance Mel, I remember Lance Mel, I think. But like see Greg Buttle, like those guys. There's Lance Mel. There you go. Nick Hunter, you're incorrect. He was an injured scratch last year. It wasn't a healthy scratch. He was a guy who got injured in training camp. Well, there was no training camp. He got injured in the preseason or whatever. It wasn't a preseason either. When the hell he got injured? He got injured before the season. I forget how it worked out. But he got injured before the season. He did come back for a period and then hurt him and then got hurt and probably was a shoulder. And he's switching from tackle to guard, and it just didn't work out. But he wasn't just a guy who was healthy all year. He was injured last year. That's what's crazy. He never had injuries in college. Comes to the Jets and he's injured constantly. That's why I'm hoping this new medical staff, when they get their feet under them, that this shit stops. It's crazy, man. Well, that's what I was just explaining, Mike. Like, I'll give you the recap. Maybe you missed it. But you got to remember, when you talk about Trey Smith, enough people were concerned about Trey Smith's health issues, and they were serious ones. Yes, there were doctors saying he's good, but there were a lot of other doctors saying, He made it to, he has a first round talent, first or second round, they were saying, remember? Because of those health issues, he made it to pick 226. So it's not just Joe Douglas that was concerned. Everybody was concerned. Nobody took him in the first, second, third, fourth, fifth. So you got to remember that. And then in addition to that, we had a 3-way battle going for that position. And we had no cornerbacks. And the safeties weren't safeties, they're linebackers. So even though they were called safeties, they were never coming here to be safeties. They're playing linebacker because that's what Saleh likes. Now, right or wrong, I'm just saying it's not that easy. You know what I mean? It's not as simple as that. We had no cornerbacks. We had Bryce Hall and Blesson Austin on the roster. They wanted to go young. They got rid of all the old dudes. They may even cut Bless Austin. Yeah, so I hear you though, man. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying there is a logic. Now, when things don't go the way you want it to, people look back and then question your logic. But there is a logic there. It's not like McCagnon just fucking trading 3 second-round picks to move up and get a quarterback, and then your next pick is a defensive tackle. The pick after that is a tight end. You have no offensive line, no wide receivers. And then the pick after that is another defensive tackle. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? It's crazy, man. Yeah, it's funny. NFL chaos with Jeremy. Good to see you, buddy. He says, Jared Davis was a prove-it signing. He proved he belongs on the garbage heap. Yeah, sadly. It's a shame. I liked him a whole bunch coming out, man. He had so much talent, and he played well early, but the guy seems lost. He seems lost in the defense. But then you look at like Quincy Williams, and while he's not a perfect player, you can see what somebody looks like that's comfortable in the defense, that's playing hard. Like he did not have a good game against the Eagles, Quincy Williams. He looked lost to me too. But overall, when you look at their seasons, Quincy Williams versus Jared Davis, there's no competition, man. Quincy Williams is lighting people up. This year, I doubt it. Bryce Hall's not going to no Pro Bowl this year. But he might be. He might make it to the Pro Bowl one year. Bryce Hall's an exceptional young man. Like, he's a super hard worker. Negatives never affect him. Like, if you ever follow Bryce Hall, like, you can follow him on Instagram and Twitter and shit like that. But even in college, like when he got that injury, remember, I lived in Charlottesville, and that's where UVA is. Like, the whole city is UVA. Everything is UVA and shit for UVA. You know what I mean? The restaurants are for UVA. There's a UVA hospital. Everything is UVA. Okay? Everything. And it's the basketball and football, and that's it. Right? So when Bryce Hall got injured, it was a big, big story because he was the crown jewel during that time. So when he got injured, you got to hear this kid. You like the way, like a lot of guys go, oh, I'll come back and everything, but it was weird. Like the way he speaks about it is like he's almost like truly grateful for adversity. Like he spins everything into this is what I wanted to happen. This is perfect. He's that kind of guy. So, and he works incredibly hard. He's super intelligent. He's a disciplined player. Like, he's a guy who has no problem taking the block. He never goes for the glory. Never. He's great. You know what I mean? So I really like Bryce Hall. And even if he never does go to the Pro Bowl, he could still be a very solid player for us for a long time. And I'm happy we have him. Like I said, I was mad that Joe Douglas didn't take him with one of our 3 fourth-round picks that year. I was pissed. Pissed. How do you have 3 fourths and not take Bryce Hall? Blah, blah, blah. Even though I liked 2 of the 3 picks, Cam Clark and LaMichael Pirine. But I didn't like James Morgan. That pick pissed me off, man. But I was so mad that we didn't grab Bryce Hall. And then he got him in the 5th. Like, oh my God, we have a genius GM. I can't believe it's finally happening for us. Like, that's how I felt. It's finally happening. Yeah. So, and as Tony G's talking about, like, Ulbricht will be the scapegoat. If he gets next year, halfway through the year, we have a terrible defense, he'll go. He's going to get this year, this offseason, this draft, like next year. He's going to get that, in my opinion. Maybe not, but I think so. And just like Matt Rule found a scapegoat, because let me tell you something. Matt Rule has mismanaged that damn program up and down the wazoo, dude. He's trading everything. For Sam Darnold, C.J. Henderson. Like, it's crazy what he's doing. He's using first-round picks on cornerbacks when he has no offensive line. Like, I don't know what he's doing. What he's done with the quarterback position alone is mind-blowing. When he had Justin Fields sitting there, he could have just taken Justin Fields and built his team. No, he trades 3 picks for this 32nd rated quarterback in the NFL last year. Fine, thank you. But he needed a scapegoat because they were 3-0, dude. They were 3-0. People were calling them a legitimate candidate to go deep into the playoffs. They were legit. Their defense was like number 1 in the NFL. Sam Darnold was playing lights out. They said remember Terry Bradshaw said Sam Darnold is the best quarterback the Panthers have ever had in their history. That's what he said after game 3. Good stuff, Terry. This guy's home now. Who sucks, Larry? They suck. Maybe I missed another comment. I don't know. You guys are talking. Okay, I don't know what. There's a lot going on there. It's awful. None of these guys can stay on or get on the field. Oh, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? The only guy that had an injury history in college that was a risky pick, and again, even though I liked the pick, I liked the player, I thought he was a fourth-round pick. So I thought he was overdrafted a little bit by a round, give or take, was Jabari Zuniga. He's the only one in our whole out of our whole class that had injury history. Really. So that was a risky pick, but the other ones weren't. And James Morgan was a stupid pick. But you got to remember, too, man, it was the Gase thing and everything. Anyway, I don't have to keep going around all this stuff over and over, but you guys know where I stand. And I'm not saying that I think it's guaranteed to work. All I'm saying is that when I look at the way it's being done, this is what I've been hoping for a decade. It's almost exactly. Now, not every player, but tearing it down, getting rid of all these high-priced assholes that don't do anything, that Jets fans overvalue because they're the best player on our team. Like, we need really good players. I hate divas. I hate them. I hate those guys. You know? And I love it. I love focusing on the draft and taking it 3 or 4 years. Take it. Take your time. Build it the right way. It might not work, of course. Nothing's guaranteed, but I like it. Yeah, dude. It's just crazy, man. When you think about our entire free agent class this year is injured except for Morgan Moses. Every one of them. Is there anyone I'm missing? Tevin Coleman even. He's playing now, but he was injured too. Everybody. It's crazy. I don't know what it is. But anyway, so we redid the whole medical staff, and we got to give them time too. It's new. We just installed all these new nutritional systems and medical and training protocols. It's brand new, man. This is the first batch of players that they're trying it on. So we'll see. In 3 years, we might have the healthiest team in the league, and we're all looking back. That is genius because we put the time in to do it right and not got freaked out by the anger of Jets fans. Who knows? That's what I hope. I know you guys are hoping the same thing. We don't know. What else we got here? The draft party is going to be amazing in 2022. Are there any cocks in this year's draft? No, there's always a Cox. Always. Always. Tony G saying, don't lie. You all liked Sammy Darnold at one point. Absolutely. Everybody did. All of us did. Even if he wasn't your main quarterback. And you know what's funny? It's a real quiet. But there was like a 50% group that was all behind Josh Rosen being the pick. Don't say it wasn't. Don't forget, I'm out there. I'm online with Jets fans for years. Since the 90s, I've been doing this. And Josh Rosen, what he had, I would say, let's just say a third. There were the Baker Mayfield guys. There were the Sam Darnold guys. We didn't think we were getting Sam. We thought Sam was one. Really? Up until like the day before the draft, Sam Darnold was consensus. He's going first. So we had the Sam guys, but really it was Baker and Josh Rosen. There was a smattering of Josh Allen, but it wasn't even real. That was 1 out of 1,000. So Josh Rosen had just as many supporters as Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold, and they are quiet. You never hear them. You know what I mean? So it's like, look, it doesn't work sometimes, man. But we have a GM that knows how to do it. He was trained by arguably the best general manager of our era in Ozzie Newsome. The guy was brilliant. His teams are consistently top of the league forever. When they lose their free agents, the next guy coming up is just as good. They've been doing that forever. Let's let Joe Douglas have his time. John Salty Nuts with the super chat. Thank you, sir. He says, what would be the hit if they didn't bring Mosley back with that huge contract? Is it smart move? No. Let's take a look. Over the cap. I think it's like a $20 million cap hit or something crazy like that. But I don't think that. Let me see. I'll show you guys right now because sometimes I don't read these things right. So I'll share my screen so you guys can see. How's that sound? Guys, sound nice? Come on, where is it? Let me go to the teams here. Teams. Let's pick the Jets, huh? What do you think? All right, let me share my screen with you. And we'll take a look over here, huh, Nalty? What do you think of that, buddy? Wait, that's not the right button. Let's see. We'll take a look at something that we can talk about. Okay. New York over the cap. Here we go. Okay. You guys see it? Can we see it okay? Okay, there we go. All right, so where is he? C.J. Mosley. So here we go. Here's what we're looking at, fellers. Okay, so 2021, his base salary is $6 million. This is his cheap year because of the COVID stuff. He already got $10 million and he didn't play, so this year he's only getting $6 million. That's what it boils down to. Okay, see how we got the $10 million here in 2020? It's not a bad sitting at home year. So he has a bonus and everything. So if we cut him, Nalty, look at this. Wait a minute, $28 million. I see. I don't understand why that's 20. Capped. Okay, so here we go. We owe, if we cut him next year, the dead cap is $20.5 million. This is Mike McCagnon. Okay, this is what we were doing out there. We saved $3 million on the cap, though. So we have a $20 million dead cap. Or is it more? I don't know how that, if it's pre-cut. Wait a minute. Hold on. This is pre-June 1st. Let's see post. No cap hit. So if we cut him after June 1st, it's a $17.5 million cap hit. So either way, now again, numbers are not the area I'm strongest in. And I admit that. I get lost in numbers. It's really weird. You see that, Tony? What do you think of that? So this is what our GM was doing. Don't forget, when we gave him this money, the going rate, like the Ravens were offering him less than 12, and it was considered high. Like it was a very formidable offer. I think it was, if I remember correctly, I think it was between 11 and 12 million. We came in and we didn't give him 13. We didn't give him 14. We gave him $5 million per year more than they were offering. That's why CJ Mosley's a Jet. He said, I can't turn this down. This is ridiculous. Who would do such a thing? He probably went over to the Ravens and said, I'm sorry, man, they're off. Then they had a good laugh about it. Holy shit, buddy. Good for you. Oh, my God. So now 2023, that's when we can cut him if we want. So he has a cap number of 18.5. He has a dead cap hit of 1.5. And we save $17 million. Okay? This is post-June 1st. Let's see pre-June 1st. So if we cut him before June 1st, it would be $3 million cap hit. Dead money, I mean. Right, so on the cap. And we would save 15.5 because his contract is 18.5. So essentially what we're looking at, wait a minute. Yeah, is that 2022, he's a Jet. 2023, unless there's a major restructuring, CJ Mosley's gone. So we have him for this year and next year. He's not going anywhere unless somebody was silly enough to trade for him, which I doubt it. And look, it's a shame that his money is like this because CJ Mosley is a fine football player. Like, he's a good man. He's a good leader, not a vocal leader, but he's a good leader. He works his ass off, and he's very good at his position, and he plays hard. And he wants so badly for the team to be good. He's not enough. So he's playing next year, right, Mike? Totally. Yeah, and he was a beast, right? We're not saying he wasn't. But when in order to get a guy here, you have to make him the highest paid player in the NFL by $5 million per year for 5 years. You don't get to have that player. And it's like, dude, the year before, he was offering Kirk Cousins $90 million guaranteed. $90 million guaranteed. No, this, that, 3 years, $90 million. That's what he was offering Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins said he worked out with he said he used us. Said Minnesota, hey man, they're offering me $90 million. You don't have to hit $90 million, but I need you to get close. And they gave him what, 85 or something like that. Without us, he probably would have got $60 million for 3 years. But Mike McCagnon was a fucking loser. Pardon my French. And he had no idea how to build a team through the draft, so he depended on free agency. And he went and overpaid guys like Spencer Long, like Tremaine Johnson, like Darryl Roberts. He gave Darryl Roberts $9 million a year. The guy had 4 good games in his career. And Le'Veon Bell, right? We gave Le'Veon Bell 13.2 per year when you could have got him for 5. He might not have liked it, but nobody was off. It was us. We were the team negotiating, and he was making it look like he had all these teams. The Ravens came in. They said, "Yeah, can we'll offer you $5 million a year." Like, that's what it was. Like, you see what did they pay Ingram? That's what they were offering Bell. I think it was $5 million or something like that. So this is what we're talking. Big Green. Who hired McCagnon? You want to know who hired McCagnon? Casserly. Was it Bob Casserly? Is that his name? Bob Casserly? Charlie Casserly. Charlie Casserly. Because now this is where you can blame the Johnsons, but I actually give Woody Johnson 100 pounds of credit for this. He honestly admitted, I don't know how to run this team. I need help. I need someone. He already hired an outside firm. They failed. So he went to 2 football guys, legendary guys, Charlie Casserly and Ron Wolf, 2 former GMs. And he said, I'm going to pay you guys. Find me a GM and my head coach because I don't know this stuff. So he went outside, he paid these guys, and Charlie Casserly betrayed him and hired his friend. Mike McCagnon was not next in line to be a GM. He was not. Actually, he was about to be fired from the Texans. And he was like 2 steps down from GM. Charlie Casserly hired him because he gave his friend a solid. Now, in his defense, he was a football guy. He's been around. It wasn't like he had no resume. He did. But it's terrible. So that's what we're looking at there, buddies. You want to see anybody else? Who else you want to see? Let's see. Oh, look, this is all our dead money this year. Can you guys see this? Let me see this, right? See that? So look at this dead money. So this is not only did Mike McCagnon lock us in, we're still paying. Like, so look, we're locked into CJ Mosley. Joe Douglas did an exceptional job cleaning this roster. But this is what he's up against. This is what I'm saying. People just think, oh, I can't believe you picked James Morgan. It's like, bro, there is so much going on that this guy had to clean. We're paying Tremaine Johnson $8 million this year. When you remember what Tremaine? He hasn't played here in 2 years. $8 million this year. Sam Darnold is $5 million. This one's fine because the trade and everything like that. Le'Veon Bell, we're paying $4 million. Quincy Enunwa, we're still paying $3.6 million. He hasn't strapped up for the Jets in 2 seasons. Kelechi Osemele, remember that great trade? He gave them a 5th-round pick, and they gave us Kelechi Osemele and a 6th. Why? Because they didn't want to be paying him in 2 years from now. $3.128 million. Chris Herndon, now we made the trade, so it is what it is, right? So we're paying $1.5 million. We're still paying Henry Anderson is on the friggin' Patriots. And we're paying him $1.3 million. Now, these guys, they're on the team and stuff. You know what I mean? So this is just the way the contracts broke out. So this is normal stuff. But it's everything. Anybody else down here? No, these are all normal. This is what you see normally. But from here up, look at this. This is what Mike McCagnon left our boy. See this shit? Like, when you think how bad it was, dude, people don't realize how bad this really was. And guys like myself, and again, I want to be very forthcoming. I supported Mike McCagnon having the ability to pick a coach. He never got the ability to pick a coach, and to have a draft where he didn't have Bowles. Now, I was wrong on that. It was Mike McCagnon. I mean, it was Bowles too, but it wasn't Bowles as the bigger problem as far as the personnel goes. The coaching obviously was Bowles. But man, was this guy a shit show. You can't make it up, man. He had no idea what he was doing. So he had to overpay people so they would even entertain coming here. And they had no intention. Like, when you overpay Tremaine Johnson to come to the New York Jets, he has no intention of coming here and playing hard. None. No, none of those guys are in the league. Tremaine Johnson hasn't played. Quincy Enunwa hasn't played. You saw Bell had a 3 or 4 game stint with the Ravens this year. They cut him, and that's it. He's done. Kelechi Osemele had a few games with the Chiefs. He looked good for a few games, and then he's done. He might still be playing somewhere as a backup or something. But who else was that? Let me see. Sam Darnold, we know that one. But again, Mike McCagnon. So Osemele, Enunwa. Enunwa hasn't played in the NFL in 2 years. Tremaine Johnson hasn't played since we cut him. Henry Anderson is with the Pats. Chris Herndon, as we know, is sucking up there in Minnesota. This is what we're talking about here. Here's Quinnen. Well, it's just a rookie contract, so it is what it is. But, like, people were talking about cutting him. Remember there was that short period of time, or like trading him and stuff. Like, if you trade him, we still had to pay this. That's what we had to pay if we traded him. What do you think of that? You want to trade Quinnen? See, now this is what Matt Rule did. Matt Rule signed He signed Teddy Bridgewater, 3 years, $63 million, then didn't want him anymore, traded him for a sixth over to the Broncos, and had to pay $17 million to trade him over there. And then he fires Joe Brady. See what I'm saying? Fucking crazy out there. See? Guys, telling you, shit is crazy. And let me just tell you, if you're not on board with Joe Douglas, that's fine. But I'm going to tell you, this guy knows what he's doing. He had to unpack 10 years of complete mismanagement. Really, the last 5, though. That's what we had. He had to unpack the last 5 years. And he had to wait a year and get rid of his buddy who got him the job, who sucks. I'm convinced he knew he sucked. He let him do what let him do it. Okay. Got you your players. You want James Morgan? Okay, we'll get James Morgan. You know what I mean? That draft, as much as I like it, I'm defending that draft because I like those players. They did a lot of research, and I like those players. And I think the story's not done being written yet. At the same time, you cannot neglect to include the fact that Gase and Joe Douglas were on the same level. Joe Douglas didn't make the final decision. They made the final decision. If Adam Gase wanted something, he actually arguably had more power than Joe Douglas because he was the guy who was here, had Chris Johnson's ear to get McCagnon fired and hire Joe Douglas. So it's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like, when you get a guy, like, imagine like Joe Douglas just did what Jets fans wanted. Comes in here, on top of that garbage, he pays Jamal Adams $17 million a year. Pays May $14 million a year, just hypothetically, 13, 14 million. He extends Sam Darnold, gives him the 5th year. This is what Jets fans were clamoring for. Really, this is what a lot of our fan base wanted. And they wanted us to go on that core, stack free agents, huge free Galladay. You know what I mean? Like, and on and on and on. Like, that's what we want every year. Now, Thuney would have been good, but AVT's fucking, believe me, you don't have to pay him $15 million. AVT is great. So that's the thing. Like, if we just did it the quick way, it's just stacking shit on top of shit. Jamal Adams needed to go. He's not a foundational player. Marcus May, with all due respect, and you guys know this, I like Marcus May as a player. $14 million? Why? Marcus May is a very good safety. He's not elite. I think he has 5 picks in his whole career. Like, guys like Ed Reed, like elite guys, dude, 8 picks, 7 picks, 9 picks a year, Let's look at Marcus May's stats. Let's look at his interceptions. So here he goes. Let me get that comment off real fast. Where'd it go? Holy shit, man. You guys are rocking with the comments. I'm sorry I don't get to them like I want. Really. You guys are crushing it. You guys are so awesome. I mean that, man. Let's look at Marcus May's stats, just for shits and giggles. Where'd it go? What'd I do? Hold on. There it goes. Right here. It's all you need to see. Okay? In his entire career, 6 interceptions. That's it. How can anyone say that he's an elite free safety? Now, he's played strong safety in his defense. You know what I mean? And he's a good player. I'm not here to shit on him. I'm just saying, There were Jets fans furious, and I mean a lot. I would say more. More Jets fans were furious that we did not lock him up. Then the DUI shit came out. But he's got, let's look at him. No, this is this year. Hold on. This year he has what? None? Let's just take a look at the interceptions, and we can look at tackles and stuff too. Quarterback hits 1. 2 tackles for a loss. That's that week, though. Hold on. Let me look at some final numbers. Where are we? I don't know. I don't know how to read this shit. Sometimes I get lost, my friends. I don't see any sacks. So, 2021, 6 games. 6 games started. He has no interceptions. He has 2 passes defensed and 1 sack. 46 combined tackles, 30 of which were solo. Remember, and there were a couple egregious missed tackles by him. Only a couple, but they were terrible, with 16 assists. He also has 4 tackles for a loss, so that's decent, right? And 1 quarterback hit. That's what he's got this year. Now, again, I would have loved to have seen Marcus May locked up. But I think what Joe Douglas was offering him, can you guys see that? Where am I? Hold on. Yeah. Was about right. And they wanted to take Joe Douglas's name and smear it in the paper and through Ian Rappaport and all that stuff. Yeah, the passes defense. So he has 2. Right, Steelstone? Where'd he go? Hold on. Passes defense right here. He's got 2. See? Now, in other years, he's done better. This isn't the best year to look at, you know. Where is it? Where the fuck is 2021 games? And here's his seasons, right? So look at the pass defense. Like I think last year might have been his best year, right? So let's look at 2020. He had 11 passes defense, right? So that was a good year for him. Look at regular. His rookie year, obviously he was a rookie. He had a good rookie year though. He was exciting. He ended up getting hurt in the last game. But he had a good year. He showed he's talented his rookie year. Second year he was hurt the whole year almost, right? Pretty much. Right? 2018, wasn't he hurt? How the hell does he have 6 games? So he was hurt a large portion of the year. I think it was 2 separate injuries. And that year he had 1 interception. Yeah, his rookie year he had 2 interceptions. So I'm saying he showed he was talented. He looked really promising his rookie year. Get out of here. So 2 passes defense his rookie year, 2 passes defense in 18, 7 in 2019, 11 in 2020. Yeah, he had some really good ones last year too, man. Some exciting. Just remember those like acrobatic pass defense. I mean, he showed it. He's a talented guy. I like Marcus May a whole bunch. So he had 11 passes defense, 2 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, and 88 tackles in addition to 2 tackles for a loss. 4 tackles for a loss. Last year was his best year. So again, though, but those aren't elite numbers. They're good. You know, and that's what you so that's what you look at. You know, Joe Douglas is a smart guy. He wanted him. He offered him a contract. We never know what those numbers were. We only heard what his agent said they were. You know? So, oh yeah, no cap. It'd be totally different. We have so much money. Like our organization is rich. He bought it for $600 million in what, 1999, 2000? It's worth over $3.5 billion right now. Pretty good investment. Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I really don't. I mean, I think like I was on the side like let just pay him. We have cap room, but the thing is, when you look later on, we don't have cap. He took that $5 million that he saved with Crowder's contract, and he turned it into Morgan Moses. Thankfully, I'm with you though. I'm torn on this one. I would love to see Crowder signed for like 2 years, 6 million. You know what I mean? Just keep the vet around, dude. He gets dinged up every year, but he's around more games than he's not. So, you know, I don't know. I think they were trying to trade Crowder, and he wanted to make him more attractive, and it just didn't work. They probably got like 4th, 5th round pick offers or something. I think he would probably want a 3rd at minimum. If not, I'll just keep him. That kind of a thing. Yeah, dude, let me tell you something, Jack Burke. A lot of those guys were my guys, buddy. You know, they were my dudes. Well, like the thing is, like a recent narrative, maybe the last 2 or 3 weeks, is that the Jets should have drafted Creed Humphrey. And you know, a lot of us like Creed Humphrey. When you look at the draft and the way that it broke down, if we drafted Creed Humphrey, it would have been a reach because he went in the bottom of the second, if I remember correctly. And our pick was at the top of the second. So we used that pick instead of trading it or whatever. We used that pick on Elijah Moore, the Jets' 16th ranked overall player in the entire draft. So they got him at 34. So it's not like they chose not to draft Creed Humphrey. We don't know if they would have drafted him or not if he was there in the 3rd. Or no, we wouldn't have because we traded our 3rds. But we don't know. But we do know that they preferred Elijah Moore over Creed Humphrey. Does anybody really have an issue with that? You know, our center, which is where Creed Humphrey's playing, is playing top 10 the last 4 weeks or so in the league. He's been very solid and getting better every week. So, like, you know what it just boils down to with the draft is you can't have everybody. 260 players get drafted. You have 7 picks. Now, we had 10. So there's 250 players that you can't have. You know what I mean? It's 250 players that you can't have. So you're going to lose out on some really good players. Again, now I don't like every player we drafted, and you guys know, man, I put my thoughts out there. I was out there constantly. I had a pretty much except for the first round, I had a very different draft plan than the way that we went. But that doesn't mean that I don't like the players that they ended up taking. I didn't like Pinnock. I still don't like Pinnock, but I'm going to give him a chance. He's only played in a handful of games. He fell on his face last week. They stuck him in man, and he fell. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? He's a rookie. He's stumbling and bumbling, running out there trying to make good. But like what it boils down to, does the draft plan have logic? Does it make sense? When you look at the top 4 picks of our draft in 2021, if anybody argues that those are slam dunks, maybe Zach. That's the only real question. Michael Carter is a friggin' stud. AVT is a stud. Elijah Moore is a stud. So you pick those guys. They're studs. That doesn't mean there aren't going to be other studs that were picked around them. Those are the guys they chose, and they look really good right now. Then you have the back end of the draft from the 4th, really from the 5th on, because we took Michael Carter in the 4th. We had 2 4ths. We took Pinnock with the later pick. I think is how it boiled down. I know we did some other trades and stuff, and I forget. And then we took Michael Carter II and Eccles and Nasruddin and Sherwood and all those guys at positions they needed. So some make it, some don't, but this is a friggin' strong draft, man. I look at Pat Fryermuth. Shit, you guys know I was in love with Pat Fryermuth. I would have loved Pat Fryermuth, man. And I would have liked Pat Fryermuth over Elijah Moore. Doesn't mean I'm not happy with Elijah Moore. You guys know I said it all offseason. Tight end is a bigger need than wide receiver. Tight end is a bigger need than wide receiver. Everybody thought I was crazy. Tight ends aren't premium, blah, blah, you need this and that. I said, I hear you. Tight end's a bigger need than wide receiver. And there's some good ones at the top end of this draft. Now what's everybody saying? Without saying, yes, Mr. Greenbean, you're so smart. Nobody's saying that shit. Yeah, McGovern is ranked high, McGovern is doing a good job. And you can't forget, the whole line is learning together. Creed Humphrey's on the Chiefs, if I remember correctly, right? He's going to an established, very effective system with quarterbacks and wide receivers and running backs that have been there for a time, and they know it inside and out. Plus linemen that have been in that system. It's a different situation. Creed Humphrey here, like John is saying, Creed Humphrey here, you don't know if it's the same Creed Humphrey. You don't. Yeah, John continued. John says, I'm fine with the way things turned out. Although it would have been real nice to land Trey Smith. Yeah, sure. There were lots of players at the end I wanted. Lots. Because we dig in, man. We're not putzing around here. We dig. We get into this thing. There were lots of players I wanted at the end. Jonathan Marshall, that's what we came up with. I was like, what? Defensive tackle's the one thing we don't need. But we did it. Now, if Jonathan Marshall replaces Nathan Shepard next year or Fadu Kasi and looks great, then it's a great pick. Right now, he's just learning. He's practicing, he's adjusting to the NFL and the practice squad. That's what he's doing. And he's been upgraded to the roster. I think he played last week. All right, Jimmy Kelly reminds us, as much as we like Creed and other guys, Pat Fryermuth, whoever, Elijah Moore is 5th in yards and tied for 1st in touchdowns over the past 6 weeks, while playing with 4 quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Elijah Moore is a great pick. Again, it's not the pick I would have made. I'm being real honest with you. Sure, Mike, I hear you. But you wouldn't have Michael Carter or Elijah Moore, pick one. I hear you. Again, I'm pretty sure, and I can't prove this because I can't, but I am certain the plan was for Cam Clark to win that job. And if he never got hurt in that devastating injury where they thought he was paralyzed, if he didn't get hurt, he would have played. He is a road grader, man. He's nasty. He's a tackle moving to guard. He's big, strong, aggressive, nasty, very good run blocker. We don't know. It would have been a different story. We would never have even talked about Greg Van Roten. You know what I mean? So we don't know. I hear you, dude. When Trey Smith was slipping, I was like, oh my God, dude, take a flyer on him. But if their doctor said, don't do it, this is serious. He might make it a year, but he's not going to be here long. That kind of a thing. We don't know. And I'm just saying if. I don't, and I'm certainly not wishing it for him. The kid's so talented. I hope he has a 20-year career. But it's like, we don't know. Absolutely, Tony. There's still 5 games left, man. There's a whole season. Like, the last 5 games can change everything. Look at our last 5 games. 2 wins. Mike White. Remember this? The last 5 games have been nuts. We beat the Bengals and the Texans. We almost beat Miami. You know what I mean? Like, it was a lot. We had Mike White. We had Josh Johnson. We had Josh Johnson for 317 yards in 3 quarters. Mike White threw for 95 in 8 minutes, whatever it was, and a touchdown. It was like, holy cow. We had 1,000 yards of offense in 2 weeks. It seems like a lifetime ago, doesn't it? Mike effing White, remember? Crazy. So the last 5 games, we don't know what. Like, if Dr. Blocker comes back and he's like if he's just rock solid, comes back and he's fine, and our line just continues to get better every week, and they re-sign him, you know what I mean? If they just say, you know what, dude, we want to give you a 4-year contract, like maybe we're not looking at interior offensive linemen. Maybe we're looking at them in the 4th. Maybe we bring in Josh Sills from Oklahoma and let him sit for a year or 2. Maybe we're bringing in, Lindstrom, and we let him sit for a year behind Connor McGovern. Who knows? It's a good point. We're just talking. That's why a lot of guys get aggravated with draft talk now. And I try not to do it. Like you see, I did. We did good. We did a good job. We did well. We almost made it. And then we're wrapping it up. So it's like, yeah, let's talk a little bit. But there's so much football left. There's so much. And then we have free agency. You might pick up the 3 best linemen in the draft, in free agency. Then you don't want to touch one in the draft. Who knows? It's crazy town. All right, guys. Dr. Blocker. Isn't that good? Isn't that a good one? I can't take credit for it, even though I'm the one who keeps saying it. That's what we should call that guy. I wish I remembered who did it. It's brilliant. Jets forever. Linderbaum isn't nasty. He's filthy. That's funny. Tony, I hated the loss of the pick, but JD wanted to shore up that left side for Zach, and rightfully so, sure. Like we talk about all the time, nobody ever talks about the 2nd round pick that we used to trade up for Revis. Never. Never. Because he's that good. Revis is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, most likely. If not, he'll make it in after, but he's a Hall of Famer, Revis. That's, those 2 years, I mean, we're talking about the best cornerback season ever. Exactly right, Bob. And it's important that we give Joe Douglas that time, not only to have starters, but to have his pipeline, to let him use these drafts in the positions that they're strong, so he can get the best players in here learning the systems. Learn the systems. You want guys that are here 2 or 3 years before they even start. So then when we start losing high-priced free agents, the guy coming in is ready. He's playing just as good. And then you start receiving comp picks because you're not re-signing all these free agents because you have the young guys in-house. That's the model. That's the Patriots. That's the Ravens. That's the Steelers. That's what they do, man. Now, the Steelers, because of Ben Roethlisberger, it's kind of eroding a little bit, but they'll be back in a minute. You know that. The Steelers aren't going to be in the bottom for very long. Not happening. And if it does, I'd be surprised. They'll be back. Steel Stone. What boot, you mean? What boot fixed my foot? Here, I'll show you. Here, this one. You ready? Let me show you. I'll show you right here, buddy. Where is it? This is the one right here. I'll show you before we go. This thing changed my life. That I was dealing with plantar fasciitis for, I don't know, 2 years. I didn't know what to do or nothing. Let me see. Can you guys see it? Let me show you the one. This one right here. See that? Why can't I? Hold on. This one. Look at this. Everybody talks about plantar fasciitis. It's this and that. Look, $18.99. $20. 2 days, it was gone forever. And then about 6 months later, I got a little stiff. I put it on again. It was gone again in 1 day. There you go. There's that. So, all right. Oh, we got a super chat. Thank you, Nalty. You're funny, man. Copay for the therapy. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that, John, sincerely. And yeah, man. So, dude, this is good. Like, here's what I'll leave you with, guys. It's not as bad as it feels like. It's not. We are working on the bottom rung. That's what we're working on. Our top 4 picks last year look to be slam dunks. Well, Zach, but he's improving. Excuse me, man. He's improving. Last 2 weeks, and he's shown flashes, man. Let him just improve. Send him love on Twitter. Let him know. We got your back, man. We're with you. We're giving you time. We love it. We're with you. And then you got the later picks. Michael Carter II, looking good. Sherwood looked good. We don't know what he'll be now. Hamza Nasruddin, he was always going to be raw. Isn't it? Joe Blewett has a great take on Nasruddin. But let me tell you something. Nasruddin is the Bryce Hall of this draft. He's an absolute steal where we got him. Very talented. He's switching positions. Give him a second. Very talented. I can't believe we got him in the 6th round. It's crazy. So we just got to let Joe Douglas build this thing. Look at all that shit we have to still clean out. After this year, all those guys' dead cap is gone. After next year, C.J. Mosley's $18 million is gone. I would love to see them renegotiate and keep him here for the rest of his career. I'd love C.J. Mosley to be here the rest of his career. Give him some guys, give him some legit guys to stand next to. Let's let our coaches learn how to do this the right way for the Jets, not for the NFL, for the Jets. We are a different animal here. It's going to take more. You know what I mean? And tipping passes him. Greenbean has been tipping passes to him. I don't know what that means. I don't know, AC. Yeah, me too, E-Rock. I'm glad you're here. This is the good stuff. This is where we sit down and we get into it. You know what I mean? This is where we get into it. I'm not having the Thursday show this week. I will be at Universal, so I'm going. Listen to this. I'm in Orlando. I just got here to Orlando today. I was in Fort Lauderdale this morning, and I'm in Orlando. The next 3 days, I have SeaWorld Orlando, Universal Orlando, and Magic Kingdom, Disney World. In the next 3 days. And then I have a Native American sweat lodge that I'm going to clear it out. I got to clear it out, guys. I got shit going on. I got to clear it out. So it's going to be an interesting week. But so I won't be having the Thursday show, just so you guys know. But yeah, man. So look, you guys are the best. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you, John. Or Jack, sorry. Oh yeah, well, I'm making that video this week, dude. I got to trim it all up, dude. It was fantastic. My buddy took me up in a little plane, and we flew around over the stadium, and then we flew over the beach, and oh, he let me fly it. I flew my first plane. It was incredible. Thanks for asking, Robbie. That's cool. I appreciate it. Well, listen, you guys have a great night. You're the best, and I'll see you soon. Again, not Thursday though. Okay, let's make sure you guys aren't mad at me for not showing up. But anyway, have a great night. I had a good time with you. Thanks for watching the Jets Fest, or whatever this is. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Give me a like on this video. And don't forget to subscribe, man. Subscribe to Here and Full-Time Coaster Tour, and you're in the contest. But even more importantly, it helps me. Okay? If you're looking for sports memorabilia for Christmas, the link right in the description, man. Click it. Takes you right to the Jets page just to get you started. But every team is in there, and it helps their channel. And over $50, you get free shipping. Okay? You guys have a great night. I will see you next time. I had a good time. So thanks for being here, everybody.
I think he's going to be day one, a violent vertical edge setter.
He's gonna be in today. I see some gas on the edge. Get that mindset to put your shoulder on somebody.
Dig, drop, you're finished.
Hey, burn down. He's a weird kid. Worse than that, sorry.
They were beating us up last week about being not good enough. We didn't deserve. We got this guy Shap saying that we don't deserve the #1 pick. A team like the Jets doesn't deserve to be rewarded with a guy like Trevor Lawrence. This is the shit we hear. So we win a game. Everybody's supposed to be happy. What does the NFL media do? They laugh at us. You guys couldn't even do that. You can't even lose right. Yeah. It's a double-edged sword, and it cuts both ways for us. So, f*** you. I love Jets fans. You name one other organization that deals with the shit that we deal with and is still this passionate. Sure, you got the little segments, the dog pound. But look at the Patriots fans. They just had 20 years of there are kids, there are 20, 21-year-old, 25-year-old people in this world that are Patriots fans who have never known losing. Never in their entire lifetime. They were born into this Belichick-Brady thing, and they have consistently won. They've won 6 Super Bowls. They've been to 9 or whatever it is. And then when they didn't get in there, they were the AFC Championship game or the semifinals or whatever. And what happens the year that Tom Brady leaves? Dude, you have droves of people leaving the Patriots. These are diehard Pats fans. This is what they have. Diehard Pats fans going to be Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans. Why? Because I'm a fucking fan of Tom Brady. Bullshit. What is that? 2009, they rode the Mangini Express, Rex did, right to the AFC Championship game. Then they built upon that and got to the 2010 Championship game. And then it came. The worst offseason in New York Jets history.